Hello, everyone. So excited to see you all, and I can finally use my computer. I figured out what the glitch was. Hi, everyone. How are you all doing today? I hope the start of July has been thrilling and exciting. As usual, I'm just gonna wait for a couple of minutes before everyone joins in, and also to ensure that I am on the right track. And I see you all. So, say hi to me and say how has your week been and what have you all been up to, and if you're excited about today's topic. All right. Oh, I still don't see anyone. Oh, I see one viewer. It's probably me. Oh, hey Melanie, hey Bharti. I was just thinking maybe I was on the wrong chat because I on the wrong chat room or something. Oh, now I see more of y'all coming in. Hi Bharti, always a pleasure to see. And hi Melanie, so good to see you too. Tell me, how has your weekend been? And how is the month of July? Don't you feel a sense of renewal and excitement? Because this month is meant to hold many more shifts and energetic alignments. Hi Sylvia, good to see you. Hi Ro, how are you? Hi Shay, love to see you all. Are you all excited about today's topic? Because today's topic is quite fun, but at the same time, very much serious as well. Hi, Annalisa, and hi, Lorinda. So, what have you all been up to? We only have 6 more months till 2023, and I can't even believe it that we are mid year like so quickly. I mean, past mid year. Anyway, a very quick, energetic wrap up would be now Neptune is going retrograde. That's what I saw. But besides that, this month is supposed to be more exciting because we have a lot coming in terms of energies. You will actually feel it. In fact, there's going to be a lot of unexpected surprises, communication from your divine masculine. Some of you might even be meeting your divine masculine. Of course, universe, God arranged meetings, and it's going to be exciting. Oh, Obi. Oh, isn't it doing just that? You know what I've been up to, and I just yes, yes, Obi, you have updated me. Oh, I see 11, 11, like 11 viewers and 11 comments. Wonderful. Guys, show me here, send me some love, give me a reaction and stuff just to see. Okay, so that we're going to delve into the topic because it's a couple of minutes now. Okay. So, why today's topic is actually important is because there's a very thin line between obsession and yearning. And obsession occurs in karmic connection because there's often a need, a cycle to complete. So the soul is just yearning for those. But whereas for a twin flame journey, nothing is set in stone, like there's no predestiny, or it's part of the evolution. So whatever happens, it's in line with your spiritual ascension and progression and evolution. Whereas in a karmic cycle, it's completely different. Basically, as I had explained in my previous video, karma is not bad. Karma is just cause and effect, and it's a very 3D concept, so it's very, very unique to Earth. And karma can only be um, karma can only be lived out in 3D planets or Earth like planets, which are not much as well. So it's a very third dimensional construct. And that is the reason why people have a misconception about karma, because they think, oh, karma means bad, I'm going to be punished. No, the soul chooses to live out a certain experience because it was cut short in a previous lifetime or previous circumstance. And that's the reason why karma is also a very tough teacher, you know. Let's say cause and effect. So when someone is in a karmic loop or a karmic journey, what happens is they are forced to actually live out a cycle. And and often in karmic situation it's when there are feelings of obsession, because you know that your time with this person is limited and there's a ongoing cycle that has to be completed. So that's the reason why a lot of karmics tend to mistaken it for a twin flame connection, and often that becomes extremely, extremely misleading because they are completely misunderstanding like the journey that they have in store for them. Because why would you want to confuse your karmic with your real twin flame? And some of y'all might not even be on a twin flame journey, and being on a twin flame journey is not like you're selected or it's something that your lottery is drawn. And no, it's not that way. As souls, some souls signed up for the twin flame journey, some haven't. That's how the soul is designed as well. Of course, it has become extremely popular in social media like TikTok, and when someone has strong feelings towards another person, it often becomes this obsessive slur on that person. But what actually happens is sometimes it's a thin line between insanity and sanity too. So you guys have to take care of yourself, and things like mindfulness, things like responsibility for yourself, for your well-being is always optimal. Irregardless whether it's a twin flame journey or not a twin flame journey, for every connection you have to take care of yourself, because you do not want to be in a situation where you completely lose yourself and you're not able to live out your best life. Another thing is love in itself can be extremely, extremely fleeting, because love is something that is very unique on earth, and a lot of souls actually sign up to come to earth to experience love. But to experience the purest form of love, there are a lot of obstacles as well. It's not just like that. If it happens just like that, often it's through to a karmic arrangement, or because it's a soulmate connection or a brand new connection. But the twin flame journey is designed to be, meant to be the most treacherous uh, and challenging of all, because there's a huge level of spiritual evolution that's taking place. And that's the reason why MJ and I always say, like, pray to God, connect to God. That's the only way you can save yourself from suffering the deepest depths of the pain that the twin flame journey can bring. Just going to quickly look at some comments before I continue. Wow, there's a lot of comments. Hey Shay, hey Megan, I'm so glad you made it, and thank you so much for that beautiful comment you left. How you look forward to these lives. It means a lot to me, and it's because of you guys that I'm so excited to do this live every week, and it's always so fun to check in with you all as well. Hi Paige, and now Paige says hi to everyone. I'm good. I'm good. I did drink water before this show as well. Hi, Mindy. Hi, Samantha. Hi, MJ. So happy to see you. See, that's the reason why, guys, MJ and I are always so excited to bring these lives to you. And it's so important to talk about these difficult topics as well, because, like I said, love in itself is so fleeting. Not identifying your connection can be quite detrimental sometimes, because you're stuck in a journey and not able to find a cause or a direction. And that is also the reason why finding out what your connection is, you are able to get inspiration, and then from there, for some are even stuck on a karmic cycle thinking that person is their twin flame, and they end up missing out on their real twin flame because they are stuck in this cycle for loops and loops of lifetimes, and they never end up being with their twin flame until like a grand cycle, earthly cycle arises, or be, oh, someone just achieved what they wanted, in which case you have to make the choice to end the cycle, even if it was consensual at the start. Once you choose your twin, choosing the cycle is crucial, I'm finding. And I completely agree with Obi. Often for a lot of not a lot, for some twins, you got to complete the cycle with your karmic in order to actually proceed and grow in your twin flame journey. And completing a cycle means actually closing the loop. Hi, Stephanie. I'm good. I'm so excited to hear you tonight. I miss you last week. Oh, it's so good to see you. And yeah, I was wondering where you were last week. Okay, Mindy, the guy who I now believe to be karmic catalyst married someone who looks like me, and I found out a few days ago that she's already pregnant. I know I should not care, but it does hurt. You see, like I said, love can be the most one of the most powerful, painful feelings on earth, and it's something that can break anyone. Even the richest person in the world can be affected by love, and it's one of those things that comes to you at the most unexpected time and just sweeps you away from your life. And that's the reason why mindfulness, taking care of your health, like mental health, are all very, very, very important things. All right. Yes, I met Animal when my karmic was in jail, and the first meeting I didn't recognize him at first, though I remember I couldn't get him out of my head. It was our second meeting that it all activated, and of course, my karmic was locked up again. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear. Broke up with my karmic several months ago when I realized he had relapsed, and I just couldn't do it anymore. Exactly, guys. It's one of those things that, for some, upon meeting their twin flames, circumstances just push them towards that completion of a cycle. But some souls can be quite stubborn, and because having that cause and effect with somebody, it's not easy to close a cycle as well. But anyway, today's topic basically is about the feeling. I'm going to focus the feeling, look into what is obsession and what is yearning. So obsession, I would consider it to be an unhealthy feeling, and yearning, I would consider it to be a positive feeling. And often in twin flame situation, there is this innate yearning. And that's why, if you notice, a lot of divine feminines are actually very calm and composed. Because, of course, they go through that period where they're completely lost and they are like trying to hold on to everything, and thinking about them. But there's always a healthy way of thinking, and there's also a very unhealthy way of thinking as well. And when obsession sets in, it actually becomes very, very endangering to the soul, because it's like your life is affected, you're constantly thinking about this person. That's why it's a thin line, because in some twin flame situation it can seem like obsession, but you got to understand that a twin flame connection is divine and spiritual and God centric. That means you're connected to the divine, you have a very strong connection with God, and you have this mission often, and you often are guided, like you're guided by someone, or it's just, and there's a lot of sings as well. But of course, karmics also have these sings. So it's really about trying to find out what it is, you know. Or there's a I'm just looking. Action needed. Key frame rate too low. I'm sorry. It was just a technical thing that popped up. All right. I still go from one row. I still go from one side to the other. But after last separation in December last year, I learned to not be too obsessive. Exactly, guys, and that's why it's such a thin line, and when one becomes obsessive, they completely push their twin flame away. Like it's like if you go down that line of like obsession, and when it becomes unhealthy, forget about union with your twin, like completely. It's a long journey to even come back. Another thing is also overthinking everything that happens with your divine masculine as well, like every single thing. Reminisce the good memories, the good times, and that's what's going to multiply and amplify. And in a karmic connection, it's also designed for that obsessive streak to come out, because, like I mentioned earlier in this video, the soul has this innate calling to just complete this cycle. And that's why often karmic connections tend to end up in a very messy way. But always remember, as a soul, you have full control of completing a cycle. It is within you. You are not forced to do anything on earth. And you guys have to get that out of your head, because there is a lot of misleading teachings or fearful teachings out there that say that, oh, earth is a punishment. No. But what you perceive is what um, your circumstances become as well. So it's always a very thin line between what is what. And guys, I'm here to take as many questions as well. And I know this topic can be quite dense as well. Hi, Laura. Good evening, beautiful. No worries at all. We just started about 15 minutes ago. And as usual, we have our usual group. And I'm going to read out Obi's comment. Okay, Megan, my karmic gave me pretty bad PTSD after I found it. Oh dear. Yes, some karmic connections can be very, very, very traumatizing. And that's why often for twin flames who have an ongoing karmic cycle to complete, or have completed or near to completion, often go through a lot of challenges in completing the cycle, because you have to complete the cycle in order to experience your twin flame journey, because the twin flame journey is highly vibrational, and it's so important to close up any kind of cycle, to fully embrace the spiritual evolution that comes with the twin flame journey. And also, okay, just see it this way. In order to go up higher in vibration, you have to let go of a lot of things that no longer serve you. And one of those things are getting rid of things that don't serve you. And this is lower vibrational energies. If you are not able to move past that, you're going to always be in a vibration where you will never be able to reach your twin flame. And often people have this assumption that I'm more advanced than my divine masculine. My divine masculine is not awakening or doing his work. But often, when you are actually too focused on what your divine masculine is doing, you should actually focus on yourself. Because if you're asking these questions, there's something within you that is not being fulfilled. And often it's an egotistical perspective as well. Divine feminines always think like they are the ones who are. And they always think that evolution equals to communication as well. Spiritually awakening, but remember, if you're in that state, you wouldn't even be expecting anything, not from your twin flame, not from anyone. You would be full of joy and full of love, and be expectation free, and you would just be living your life to the fullest. And that can be anything. You would be living out your day-to-day life, your day-to-day experience in the fullest expression. And these are the energies that eventually unite you back with your twin flame. So if you guys are still in that phase where you're asking, oh, why is my twin flame not talking to me? Why is my divine masculine? So then you know that you guys are energetically still vibrating on a very 3D, 4D level. Because once you're in 5D, it wouldn't matter. Anything that your divine masculine does wouldn't affect you, because everything is from a higher perspective of expression. Of course, yearning is a very pure energy. And in fact, in yearning itself, there are different levels. And the purest form of yearning is what often brings out those accidental meetings with your divine masculine. And one of the examples are, example, you are just living your life, you're doing your thing, you're going through all your challenges in the best way you can, and you are just doing your best, to live out the best way of living out your life, in a very expressive, centered, responsible way. And then there's this yearning. And then there's this yearning. There's this pure yearning that you want to see your divine masculine. And you're like, you know what? There's everything that I've tried. I just have to leave it to God. I need to leave it to the universe. Somehow you randomly meet your divine masculine in a mall, or some way there's a communication, or if you guys don't live in the same country as your twin, your twin will be viewing your story on social media. There will be a sign to show you that your thoughts are acknowledged, your yearning is actually acknowledged. But when it comes from a place of obsessiveness or desperation, you guys actually screw up your energetic framework like completely. And that's why, guys, I'm always saying you guys have to always watch your energies, because your energies are the most important thing. And for any twin flame, or on an authentic twin flame journey, number one is to always watch your energies and not be obsessed with that either, because there's always a group of twin flames or people who think on a twin flame journey, you get obsessed with spirituality even. This is not only for twin flames, this is a general movement that's going on, spirituality and being cool are going into that obsessive diet and obsessive routine. Whatever you guys do, if there's no flow, if there's no joy, if there's no love, and if you feel pressured, stress, fear, then you guys need an energy check. And energy checks can be done within you as well. And also, see this, how are you able to take criticism, for instance? So often, genuine twin flames never get affected when someone's like, you guys are not a twin flame, or whatever the world says, it wouldn't matter to them, because internally they know this person is my divine masculine, and you know that for sure. You have all the signs, so you won't even be in that position where you are constantly picking a fight or questioning or being so triggered. Triggering often happens in karmic situations when the label is, and people get affected when the label is karmic, because they immediately associate a negative label with karma. They think, oh no, is that does that mean that it's a bad relationship? Not necessarily. There are some karmic connections that evolve and end up becoming very meaningful connections to one another, and they actually live out what they always desired to live out with one another. And that's why karmic connections are very integral in many people's lives as well. And that's why that negativity that is attached with karma has to be removed. You can't see that. Like, the moment you start viewing life in a very creative, inspiring, passionate perspective, everything around you shifts. Everything, literally, guys. I mean, it will be sunflowers and music every morning, because that's how you choose to live your life. And often getting into that energy is not easy, because you're always being pulled down by external circumstances in this 3D world. Example, you're going to work, you might be having crisis after crisis. So it becomes a habit that you guys have to consciously develop, and it can take months and months and months and even years. So it all goes back to checking and tuning into your energies, and actually able to accept the healing and the work you got guys have to do. And even those who are not on a twin flame journey can be on a spiritual evolutionary journey as well, because there are a lot of star seeds out there. There are a lot of beings or awakening out there. And always remember, everyone can be on the path to enlightenment. It's a choice that the soul takes, and as a soul, you can always return back to God, the place where you came from. So that's why do not have this thing, or if I'm not in a twin flame journey, I can't be on a spiritual journey. That is very, very limited thinking and can be very, very detrimental as well. Oh, I'll be beautifully stated. Yearning, yes, I yearn for him. There's longing, but my karmic, yes, he's been obsessed for multiple cycles, and I'm losing track of how many dimensions. But I wanted to save my karmic. I felt I needed to. I'm learning to release that and accept, to give it all to God, all of it. Wow, that's exactly how it should be. Like Obi says, sometimes it's all about letting go and surrendering to the universe, surrendering to God, and that's where you truly awaken. And sometimes you have to get into that phase as well to achieve that state of pure living. Samantha. So I shouldn't be concerned that my thoughts always seem to drift back to it. If it's really healthy yearning, then it's fine. But when it becomes obsession, then you tend to push away your divine masculine. Whether it be songs or be initials or birthday, always spark up, then it's completely all right, Samantha. Like thinking about your divine masculine, come on, they are your soul after all, and you thinking about yourself, there's nothing wrong. But when it becomes unhealthy, then you need a reality check-in, like anybody who is tuned in with me today. Stephanie, we have been in separation almost 18 months and he's been married to his karmic. I finally let go and trying to be happy, and now they're getting divorced. You see, that's where the magic is. Actually, often the key to your journey, the answers to your journey is often in your circumstances if you choose to actually look at it. But often, when you are vibrating at a lower vibration, you're not able to look at the cues that the universe is constantly giving out to you. And ultimately, the universe just wants you to know that if you are living your highest, purest, best life, showing out kindness, contributing to society, really living an authentic life, everything will fall in place, and your divine masculine, I can guarantee you, will meet you there. But in order to get there, there's a lot of work. But again, even the work cannot be obsession, because sometimes there are some twin flames who are just obsessed with the healing, or trying to achieve. This is not KPI, key performance index. It doesn't work that way. There has to be a flow, there has to be divinity, there has to be a certain detachment, great level of detachment. And you have to come to a point where you're no longer concerned about what your divine masculine is doing, where they are going, or whatever they're doing. And when you come to that level where you still think about your divine masculine, you still embrace everything you can, and you still look through the memories and find great joy and inspiration in it, that's when you're living your highest, purest, most authentic self, and that's when things start falling in place. And that's what a lot of divine feminines have shared and have experienced as well. Hey, Lorinda. Oh, yeah. I was so obsessed in the beginning. I've always been one to keep my composure in moments that others would lose their minds. I am so glad that the obsessive phase is good and over. I knew I was being neurotic, but had absolutely no control over myself. It was almost embarrassing. I most always have a calm approach. Yes, and often recognition is key, because when you are going down that line of obsession, it's you need a reality check-in, like truly a check-in, and that's when like healing comes in handy, guidance, like in fact a lot of my readings can be guidance as well. Like I try to bring you back to your journey and give you the right advice, and sometimes I may suggest healing, so you might ask me for healings that might help you energetically align yourself with the journey as well. Ro, I actually shared a card reading I received on a live in this group, and he wasn't weirded out about it at all. Wow, that's wonderful, Ro. That shows that you're truly detached and you are truly accepting of where your journey is. And when things energetically change around you, things energetically change around your divine masculine too, and everything starts falling in place. Obi, I do have a question which might help others too. How can I ensure I don't interfere with the path I'm on with my twin, which is now open and flowing the timeline I jumped to, while I'm closing the karmic cycle? Focus and attention is a tricky thing, and I get nervous about that. Don't want to give it too much focus, but I have to take certain actions. Is it too dangerous? Like Obi, like I said, it's always a thin line between insanity and keeping one's energies at check. So when you realize that you're actually going down that path of going through extreme energies and challenges, you have to first anchor yourself, you have to ground yourself. That's step number one. Secondly, you have to try to slowly elevate your energies a bit by bit. It will take time, so you guys can't force something like energies. You guys can never force, it has to go with the flow. So going back to your question, like you say, focus and attention is a tricky thing. And when you are at that state, you know that you have a long way to go. Because when you are vibrating from a higher state, focus and attention, it comes in at ease. You wouldn't there won't be any struggle once you're at that vibration where you're vibrating at the energies where you're able to flow and live your authentic life. You'll realize nothing is difficult anymore, and that is enlightenment. If you were to break down the word enlightenment, is actually becoming light, like literally becoming light form and becoming light of your burdens, light of your preconceived notions, light of your fear, everything. And that's why working on your fears, facing them head on, is very, very important. And always remember, it's part of the journey too. So Obi, don't beat yourself too much about it as well. What you're experiencing, you have to navigate it through, and you have to also pat yourself on the back for coming this far and being able to show so much love and care for yourself at the same time, despite facing all these obstacles that may constantly come in your journey. But you have to believe that you have got this and you're divinely protected. And that's why praying to God, like literally praying to God, helps, inspires your journey. Connecting to the universe and sending out that prayer to the universe is so important. And especially for twins who are going through the dark night of the soul, which I've done videos previously, which you guys may want to check out. In fact, if you guys watch all of my lives, there's a certain theme to every life, and you will actually be able to get a full picture of what exactly being on a twin flame journey is. And for those who are just starting a journey, you guys have all of that information out there that'll be very, very helpful. Megan, yes, I went through it as well when Animal ran the first time. It was like my soul got ripped in half, and I'll admit, I ran back to Ricky in my intense pain to try to forget it, but it didn't last. The pull to reunite with Animal became too strong, and 3 months later it happened. I also would like to say the obsessive phase has calmed down into yearning now. And guys, you see, thanks Megan for sharing that. So actually, when you guys shift from the obsessive phase to a yearning phase, things will fall in place, and you will actually notice that you will see more and more of your divine masculine. So, really, when you're at the obsessive phase, don't beat yourself up to it. And also, for those karmics, don't get misguided in a journey you're not on as well, because it can be very, very, very dangerous when you're not on a twin flame journey and you're actually um, trying to follow a twin flame journey, because everything can be very misleading. Because once you identify this is a karmic cycle, you can actually decide what you want to do with it. And karmic connections are also beautiful, and when you have that maturity to see that every connection out there is beautiful, life becomes truly a transforming experience. And another thing I wanted to also say, which I wanted to say and then I forgot, is some of your protections, I mean, some of your connections are divinely protected because you guys are on a mission, and you might not want to publicly go on saying that you're on a twin flame journey to attract attention. So there are these kind of things as well. And that's why when I do a twin flame check, I actually do a multi-layer, a thorough check, so that you guys are on the right journey and you guys get the right kind of advice. And I always recommend that. And also, guys, always remember you cannot be too hard on yourself as well. And whatever you feel, you have to go into the state of watchfulness, which I have done a video about earlier this year. And a state of watchfulness is actually one another technique for you guys to anchor back into the path in your journey, so what you have to do is you have to detach yourself from yourself and start viewing your life from an external perspective and trying to problem solve from there. So example, you are really in this dark place in your twin flame journey. So what do? You try to detach yourself and actually start viewing what is it that I'm doing that's pushing my divine masculine away. Often obsessiveness is a huge turn off to your divine masculine because they can feel it. Just think about it. A person is constantly thinking about you, and as a twin flame, telepathy is all time high, so they can actually feel that and that obsession. So how do you actually identify whether it's a yearning or an obsession? When you have negative feelings attached, that's when it's obsession. When you have like limiting beliefs, oh, I will never be with my twin flame, or my divine masculine is not going to see me, or I just want to see them, I want to do everything. You start getting into that phase, which is not very healthy. Then you are at a lower vibration, and obsession comes from a lower vibration. But when you transform and you guys actually get into a higher vibration, then you realize that things tend to change for you. And often it is in this phase that you realize that what you're actually experiencing is a result of what you have been facing all your life. And that's why it becomes so important to fine tune your energies before you actually start proceeding on your journey as well. So I'm just going to read out some questions uh, so that I can also have interaction with you guys. Because this is really, it's a thin line. Like obsession is a thin line between, like, yearning is inspiration and obsession is actually going down the downward slope. That's why when you start yearning, it just changes the entire definition of your journey. And that's why you guys have to like shift into that mode often. And most twin flames actually go through that obsession phase, but they are not stuck there. But in a karmic situation, it can be much more stronger. And you all, in a karmic situation, you always will have this innate feeling to actually complete a cycle, like always. Like you will know often in a karmic cycle, you will often be able to tell it for yourself that you are a karmic connection. And it can be very, very fleeting and misleading as well. So I'm just going to read out some of the comments here. Oh, I'm just seeing Henry. Hello, lovely. I woke up probably because I needed to send some real support and love from me to your life. Oh, thanks so much. I was wondering where you were. Okay, now I'm trying to find out at the point that I stopped. So, Lorinda, yes. Wow, you guys have really good comments, but I realize there's only at a certain point that I'm able to see. Lorinda, yes, I went through it as well when Animal ran the first time. It was like my soul got ripped in half, and I will admit, okay, I've read that comment. I have done this. I told him I had a reading done on our connection. I sent him the YouTube link so he could watch it if he wanted to. He watched it several times. He knows I love tarot readings. Laura, hey beautiful, can I ask, as a monadic flame, we may not reunite. Since my reading with you, I found some peace in my separation from him. He was the catalyst to help me be the best version I could be. I shut myself off from love, didn't want to hurt again, but was going to inspire and guide others to know their worth and get real love. Now someone has come along, from known him from childhood. I feel he's part of my soul family, perhaps a soulmate. I'm not ready to pursue anything right now as I still yearn for DF. I'm a wee mixed bundle of emotions, like who I'm destined to be with, or do I shut myself off again? See, when you're asking these questions, you are actually bringing your vibration to that level of trying to figure out what is happening. So you see, your first sentence itself, like as a monadic flame, we may not reunite. Like, what makes you say that you're not going to reunite? There's no such thing as that. Like, there's so many monadic flames who unite as well once they, reach a point where they want to unite. So there's always a possibility of union for split soul twin flames or monadic twin flames, and it never, um, it actually, it's so maybe perhaps one of the first steps is to actually remove that notion, Laura. And another thing is, it's wonderful that you found some peace in separation from him. And also, you raised a very, very good question. Just because you have met your twin flame, monadic or split, doesn't mean you have to be with your twin flame either. And if you have that kind of pressure, then again, you're going down that line of of suffering, the path of suffering. If you're free and if you choose to live out, like I say, your most authentic life and find a connection with a partner who's available, things transform as well. You do not need to be with your twin flame necessarily. And again, it's a choice that your soul makes. And remember, in this physical existence, as a twin flame, you guys are separated and you still harbor two separate bodies, two separate identities. So, having that expectation of union can also be detrimental. At the same time, completely being in a limiting state where you think, oh, this is how it is, we'll never, it's also not good. And that's why the focus is actually on you becoming the best version of yourself, which I keep telling you guys every week as well. So thanks, Laura, for that question. Sunflowers are a huge thing for me. Oh, yes, sunflowers are so beautiful. One of my favorite flowers. Even the roses are like my favorite. I'm such a fan for roses. Like, I always, want to live in the middle of a rose garden. Oh, yes, sunflowers are amazing. Amy, keep the energy balance is my biggest challenge, honestly. I always get tipped off. Yes, another thing I want to talk about today. Getting tipped off the scale happens all the time, and you cannot beat yourself up to it as well, because you have to also realize that can become obsession itself, trying to maintain your energies. No, you have to remember everything needs to go with the flow. You cannot have pressure or circumstances determining how you're feeling. That's why it's so important to practice mindfulness, watchfulness, and living from a higher state of expression. These three things are very, very, very important to the twin flame journey. I actually have a few healings, and activations that help with that state, which you guys may want to check out. And Henry, yes, I saw your comment. I'm so glad you're here. Megan, Lorinda to Megan. John kept asking me in the beginning what I wanted to be around him so much, and I said, I don't know, that's just a pull or draw or something. I have to be around you. So grateful for his patience and understanding. He was like a caged tiger when we met. So him being encouraging, understanding, and patience almost seems contradictory. I seriously don't know what I would have done without him in the beginning of all this. Lorinda, somehow we didn't get Kelly's Fortune's question answered last week. Will Kelly Fortune and LG meet face to face? I didn't get this question actually. I must have missed it. So will Kelly Fortune and LG meet face to face? Of course. I truly like please go tell Kelly that LG and her will meet in person. Like, I actually see that coming in a few, definitely in a few, um I see a good year or so, and even faster, depending on how things are working out energetically. So go tell Kelly that LG and her will definitely meet face to face, and tell her that I'm so excited for her when that happens, and because it's already happening and it's so strong in her future timeline. Amy, I needed a break from all the TF topics last week, so I didn't even check in into last week's live. I know sometimes it's just all too much going on. Oh, thanks, Amy, and sending you so much love. Yes, it can be so much, and sometimes you guys need that space, from all these discussions and and groups and stuff, and having that taking that time off and being with yourself is so important. It's such a good practice to be in. And Amy, thanks for doing that. Sometimes guys do take a break when all of this becomes too much, because you deserve the break. And always remember, I'm here for you guys as well, so if you all need anything, you guys can always message me and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Laura, I remember the obsession it took over, but now I see it served a purpose. I learned how to ground myself, detach from needing him. I feel free from it now. Yearn for him occasionally, but I need to focus on me. Yes, and focusing on you is the best thing you can do to yourself, regardless of what journey you're in. As a divine feminine, focusing on you is the best thing you can do for yourself. I'll say it again and again, because that is the game changer. The moment you anchor your energies, tune in, and actually flow in with the energies of the universe, and living a happy life, regardless of what stage of the twin flame journey you are, is the biggest game changer. The moment where you do not feel a need to actually look at your divine masculine social media, or think about what they are doing, or who they are with, or when they are going to be with you, or what is the timeline. When all of these things start to evaporate away from your mind, that is one of the most beautiful stages, because you've completely surrendered to this journey. And that is also one of the biggest um, guidelines, or biggest cue, that you are actually very near union, truly, because it will all happen. And you're trusting God completely on this path and the universe. And so you always remember, God has your back, the universe has your back. And when you completely surrender, things start to quicken up, like really. And this is what I want to tell all of you guys. I promise you, Mindy to Amy, I promise you, you're not alone. I'm at that point too. I have trouble reading through all of the energy updates, etc., that are posted now. It's overwhelming. I'm going to take a break for a few days after this, I think. Yes, Mindy, taking that break is so good for you, and so good for your spirituality and your spiritual evolution. And guys, every one of you taking a break couple of days and then coming back, you will feel much more refreshed, and you will also draw more inspiration when you come back, having that break as well. There's another thing I wanted to share, and then it skipped my mind. I hope it comes back again. um Amy, that's where I am at now. I was obsessed with him. Now I'm focusing on myself, but I must say, he occupies my thoughts literally all day long, no matter what I'm doing. And that's fine. That is actually healthy yearning. And when he occupies your mind and you're not thinking, it's a thin line, when your divine masculine comes to your mind and you actually obsessing about them, two different things. So what, Amy, you're feeling is you're still living your authentic best life, and your DM just comes in, and that's fine. It's actually a silent yearning, and that's why things tend to flow in place. And Mindy, yes, the obsession is real. We come across this new term, new concept, and we want to learn literally everything we can about it. Then we get overwhelmed and burn out. You're not alone, I promise. We also don't realize that we are chasing. Yes, exactly. Obsession actually triggers the chasing phase. So thanks, Mindy, for raising that. And it in turn causes TF to run, because they can feel it energetically. I've really gotten a lot better at not chasing that much, and I've been told that he's noticing it energetically and almost ready to come back. Yes, spot on, Mindy. Thanks for sharing that with us. Wonderful. Exactly. When you're obsessed, you're actually triggering the runner cycle dynamic. That's why it's so important. But when you're in a state of yearning, you do not trigger that. In fact, yearning is a silent, pure prayer to God, yearning, if it is possible, to be with your divine masculine. And Amy, and we live together. Oh, still not trying to obsess. Obi, I was just thinking of you. Oh, quick clarification. When I say attention and focus are tricky, I don't want there to be focus where I know what you mean, sweetheart. And it can be very hard. And you are doing so much. You're such a highly intelligent, high spirited, wonderful person who is able to view the timelines and webs. And the only key challenge with you is actually detaching from it and drawing inspiration. And you're a writer after all, and what you're experiencing can be converted into inspiration for your writings and for anything that you create. So I don't, so I'm going to read out your comment because I do have to take certain actions with my karmic to close the cycle. I know my attention drives my intention and I want to become energetically invisible to my karmic while I'm connecting more deeply with my twin again. And you are on the right track because you have already put that out. You want to become invisible to your karmic, and that itself is creating the opportunity and circumstances for you to live out that. And also, we talked about it, Obi. No more fear, you are power. In fact, your karmic is probably fearful of how powerful you are becoming because he doesn't feel you anymore. And that's a great sign. And often, um, another thanks Obi for raising that because this reminded me of another thing. So in some karmic connection there is also an unhealthy flow of energies, so often in some karmic connections it could be how a person can be drawn out of their energies completely. So when you are feeling that you're being drained out of your energies, you got to always check, is this relationship serving me? Is this connection actually empowering my life? And you guys actually have to tune in and find out. And you have to always remember we live in a free will universe. So you can choose your connection and you can choose what to do with your connections as well. And that is the reason why once you actually put out the intention, you can actually complete the cycle. It is very difficult, especially, and one example is going through a divorce. You know how difficult it is for a couple to go through a divorce. And as a lawyer, I can say this, it is so difficult to even get to that step of going through the divorce, actually making that decision that they want to go through a divorce and everything that comes after that. Because it is one of the most challenging, crucial, heartbreaking things that can happen to anyone, a divorce. And those of you who have gone through a divorce will know this. It can become really ugly at times, and it can be very amicable and beautiful as well. And when it is conscious uncoupling, which is again a new age spiritual term, it becomes beautiful. And there are a lot of couples who do that. That Mind Valley guy consciously uncoupled with his wife, but they still go on family holidays. There's still a healthy relationship going on there. So that is something that you guys can do with the karmic. But again, it to each their own. For some connections, you really have to complete that cycle and move on, like truly, because that connection no longer serves your purpose, especially when you're on a pure hearted twin flame journey. You wouldn't want things like that to actually affect your journey. So that's why completing cycles are quite essential. Oh, thank you. I did my nails on Tuesday, and I was like trying to choose a color, and then I liked both of these colors. I'll bring it close, like green and blue. And then my manicurist was like, you know what? Let's just do both the colors. So thank you. I'm really loving it. Uh, Thanks a lot for noticing, Paige. Megan to Obi. Yes, I have a couple of loose ends with Ricky that have to be wrapped up. One is almost there, and the other I'll probably just sell straight out to him and wash my hands of it. Get rid of those energetic ties to him. Also, you guys actually can't put too much pressure on it as well. Excuse me. So sometimes even completing a cycle has to happen smoothly, so don't have too much pressure in trying to complete a cycle, or let it happen with the flow. And always remember, the divine is with you, the universe is with you, and I'm here with you guys as well, anytime you guys need guidance or advice. And that's why I do these lives every weekly, to tune in and check in and to answer all your questions as well. And always remember, guys, this is a very safe place because this group is a private group. So whatever you share in this group stays in this group, and everyone actually agrees to it. And darling MJ is always moderating things that needs to be, and as a moderator I moderate too. So remember, guys, this is a safe space, and there is no wrong question or stupid question. Every question is valued and respected. So anything you guys want to ask, please use this opportunity to ask, and I'm happy to guide you guys here. So, Laura to Mindy, yes, I love to learn as a Gemini. I thrive on learning and understanding. Because of my ADHD, obsess over lots of subjects. But now I want to let go of problem solving and analyzing everything and just live in the moment. I trust in God and the divine timing. Oh dear, your comment. So, Laura, that is beautiful, and that shift is amazing. And I really like how you have transformed, and I'm so proud of you, Laura. You are amazing. Amy, yes, I'm glad I'm finally at the stage where I can take a step back and look at what I'm doing. I have a lot of things I do to get back to grounding. Each time I can feel the shift in my relationship. Absolutely. Thanks, Amy. You can. Actually, energetically, you can feel the shift. Megan, Animal has a way of snapping me out of those negative loops, both in 3D and 5D. He doesn't allow me to stay there. He will always do something stupid to make me laugh, and it makes me completely let go of whatever is bothering me. And, that's one of those endearing qualities of a Capricorn divine masculine. They always have that innate quality to actually protect their divine feminine, and it's wonderful. And that's why for some, I know I always talk about Capricorn divine masculines. And someday I'll tell you why, but it's really, they really, I've studied a lot of them, and it's really wonderful. And thanks for sharing that, and I'm so glad, because Animal has a great sense of humor, and Animal is so wonderful. And Megan, I remember reading somewhere that Animal actually met your children through video conference. I'm so happy they finally met, and I can't wait for you guys to catch up live in person soon. How do we shift? Oh, thanks, Amy. That's a wonderful question. How do we actually shift from obsession to yearning? That is actually, that is, it's not as easy as it sounds, but again, it's not as difficult as it sounds either. Again, it goes back to your energies. When you come to a state of complete surrender, you actually go, you see, obsession comes with expectation, yearning comes with no expectations. This is the easiest way I can put it out as well. So when you guys actually obsess, you have so much expectation. I want to see my twin flame, I want to do this, I want them to communicate, I want them to reach out. But when you're yearning, you're actually having no expectation. It's like, this is the way it is. I'm glad I'm still able to think about my DM. I'm still alive. I'm still existing. And you are like, I wish I could meet my DM. Well, I'm leaving it out to the universe. So, this is how you respond to either of these states. So, the moment you actually let go and surrender, you actually shift to a yearning phase. Oh, Obi, thank you. You're so sweet. I love all your kind words. Thanks, Obi. As you know, you've been absolutely instrumental, sister, to getting me back onto the right track. I won't obsess about it, I promise, but I'm being mindful and careful. And Obi, it is okay. Even if you're obsessed, as long as you know, okay, I'm obsessing, and you're able to anchor back to a healthy state of yearning, then you're completely fine. Recognition is the key, guys. Often, a lot of people don't even recognize that they're in the obsession phase, and that is what, Mindy or Amy was saying, that is why it actually triggers the runner chaser dynamic as well. So once you guys recognize it and you start healing and start working on yourself, things transform. And that's what's so beautiful. And I see how you guys are all transforming and evolving, and rates that are so beautiful, and such joy to my heart, because I know, oh, my videos are actually inspiring you guys. Oh, and I love how you guys support one another, and I really admire each and one of you all, of how you guys look out for one another, and I love that about you guys. Keep doing that, guys. We are a community, and caring, showing kindness, and supporting one another is so important. Laura, my latest obsession about learning about what my purpose is a monadic flame. I don't obsess over him now. I want to understand why I'm here and what mission I came to do. I feel closer to understanding it all. That's wonderful. And also, guys, there's so much out there on the internet that can be misleading as well. And that's why it's so important to be very selective of what you take in and to always make an objective analysis as well. Because there's going to be so much, especially when things like monadic flames don't unite. That is complete BS, guys. Like, that's not true. Everyone is in a unique journey, and everyone, some have already had a rough idea of what they want to do on earth. Some come to earth and change their mission, so everything is actually very fluid, so nothing is fixed. So guys, when you guys have those kind of things that are going on, if it doesn't resonate, move on, guys, because that can be quite detrimental and can trigger distance and gap in your journey as well. So it's very important to choose your information wisely. And there's so much on the internet, and there's so much of inspiration on the internet as well. Choose things wisely, make a decision for yourself. And yeah, I'm always here for a private read as well if you guys want. Amy, I'm monadic and we're united. Thanks, Amy, for that. Thank you. And Laura, you see, you have a live example. Thanks a lot, Amy, for sharing that. Mindy, I've also recently become interested in knowing the mission purpose I'm meant to fulfill both individually and the two of us together, and even as a collective. I have a feeling it is charity related, but maybe more exactly. And that is wonderful. There's so much you guys can do, in terms of serving the world. So much. And sometimes it doesn't have to be like far fetched, it could be as simple as going to a volunteer. You can volunteer at a shelter, serve food, could go to an old folks home and just be there for the elderly folks, listen to their wisdom, ask them how they fell in love. Just be there, because some of these old people are really lonely. Like, my grandmother lives with us, I'm so glad, and she is 83, and sometimes she's like listening to her, like how she fell in love with my grandfather and all that. It's just so beautiful and inspiring, like how life was during the war times, and how Singapore was before it became the first world country it is today. Beautiful. So actually connecting with elderly people is wonderful for a lot of twin flames as well, because you draw inspiration on their life experience. And if you look at those older generation, they really fought for their love, fought for everything basically, and it's because of them that we actually have stable families. And so it was post war that the whole wave of indigos actually anchored um, that family dimension into earth. I mean, prior to that as well, but then slowly it started shifting. So in a sociological perspective, from solid modernity, it has become liquid modernity, and now we're in the era where it's actually shifting towards gaseous modernity. So you realize like everything is becoming completely in the air. So it's also important to anchor back into some traditional values, but not get too carried away. So, for example, don't be obsessed with getting married to your twin, but rather look at the meaning. What is a marriage? And people got married in the past because women were quite dependent on men. And if you go back, really back into history, marriage was necessary for the protection of the children, for the protection of their wealth. But now it's changing. Women are equally educated, equally independent, are in high paying jobs as well, and there's so much equality. So marriage, the idea of marriage and the meaning of marriage in itself has transformed. So living together, just being with your twin in itself is a divine marriage. So don't be obsessed with like getting married and having kids. Everything will happen when the time comes. Important thing is how you are feeling energetically and how you are evolving into this beautiful experience. And the twin flame journey is one of the most challenging and treacherous journeys, but at the same time one of the most meaningful journeys as well. And once you start seeing it for all it is, you will realize that you are truly blessed and guided by God and the universe at all times. Oh, Ro, that is beautiful. As you say, my DM recently told me I'm the best version of myself he has seen in these 2 years. Amy, I do need to check out those healings for sure. Yes, please. I've posted a whole new bunch of healings as well, and you guys can always just ask me. I can always customize a healing for you guys as well. Laura, to Mindy, Oh, incredible. It's the mission I want to complete. I want to come back. I feel I know what it is. I've been actively doing it, but I still lack some self belief from an abusive childhood. So I seek validation, even though I already know. Yeah. I'm so sorry. A lot of you guys go through very traumatizing experiences, and you guys always remember this is a safe space and it's okay, and your feelings and thoughts and your trauma is valid. And in this place it's unconditional love, and we are all here to support one another, and it's okay to seek validation, as long as it's inspiring you. And thank you, Laura, because all this healing, actually recognizing it, is the first step to healing. Thanks, Lorinda. Do pass it on to Kelly and send her all my love. And I will try to do a live that it's more centered for our European members as well, because I know this timing like really works for the US crowd, and but Europe it's like 3 a.m., isn't it? But for those of you all are staying up, thanks a lot. I really, really appreciate that. Hey guys, show me more love. Like whoever you're here, um, you know throw me a heart or a like to that, so that I can see that you guys are here. And I'm also going to do some channeling. I know we went above an hour today, but that's okay. I'm here to take questions. So again, guys, I can channel for you on the spot, so put out your questions. And before that, I'm going to actually read out all your comments as well. It's I wanted to read out Amy's one and it disappeared. Oh, let's see. Oops. Okay. Linda, hello. No worries, Linda. Albie, I'm not afraid of him anymore. You're totally right. I took action from pure strategy. I made a power move and it stunned him. He played his hand as a result and really didn't mean to. So now he has gone silent. You see, you have it, girl. You have it under control. Oh my God, this divorce is draining and exhausting. I know, Han. I'm doing a few divorce cases myself, and they can be the most painful and exhausting. Not only for the couple, but for everyone, even the lawyers included. But it's also good for you because you're actually divorce is good because it's a clear cut, and it's a good completion of a cycle because you're no longer bound, um, even on 3D. So divorces are a good clean cut. I'm was depleted with him. The divorce continued, but divorces do take quite a while, and it's one of those things, very, very heart wrecking. Laura, oh, I see your comment. I do it during meditation. I tell him everything I need to. Sometimes he talks back. Other times I know I've said it to him to get it out there. Guys, I've actually done a video on there, communicating in 5D with your divine masculine, probably in Feb or Jan. You guys can just go down to the videos under albums, and you can see all of my previous lives as well. Ro, gosh, I'm on the divorce journey. After I told him about the divorce, he's now trying to fix it and expects me to be part of the fix. I've written that off after 2 years of begging him to fix our marriage. Yes, you see, there's only this much you can try. And Ro, you have done your best. And often, you know, sometimes people just want to know that they have tried. And don't worry, everything will go with the flow, and hang in there. And we are here for you to support you always. Laura, I love to know your opinions on a Taurus divine masculine. They are very fiery, energetic, active. At the same time, they can be such a romantic as well. So Taurus divine masculines are actually very sweet and kind and fiery beings. There's a lot of speed, so that's why sometimes you may feel like you're progressing so much and then it just drops down. But on the whole, Taurus divine masculines are amazing. They are beautiful souls. Amy, I'm Aquarius, and so is my DM. So it's extra. Oh, Aquarius intellect. So it's always about going through it and questioning it. But again, it's beautiful. Like Aquarius, twin flames are beautiful on their own right, and there's so much depth into their personalities. And it's extra hard because of the double Aquarian energy being loners. Yes, Aquarians can be with themselves for like days and not feel. Yeah, it's one of those things. Paige, speaking of divorce, making that choice is so stressful, such a huge decision and life changing. How does a person ever know they're 100% making the right decision? the truth is you never know. It's all, you have to just go with the flow, and it's one of the hardest things. And that's why a lot of people, they change their mind, at different stages of the divorce process. They change their mind. They want to get back together, and then they don't want to get back together. And always, most cases, the courts, the legal system is very accommodative, because at the end of the day, it's your choice. And if you want to work things out, in fact, they recently made it mandatory in Singapore that couples have to go through pre-counseling before they go on the divorce journey. So mediation, there's always an option for mediation as well, but mandatory counseling actually kind of places what exactly. So there was one mediation that I attended. This case is that our client, she was having an affair, so she wanted a clear cut, but then her husband was clueless. He was still trying to hang on, and they had an 8-month-old baby. But the reason why she actually drifted off from that marriage is because he was always playing computer games. This guy is like a is in a big position in the army, and he's actually like 6 or 7 years older than her. And my client, my ex-client, this was many years ago, this was the case I think 5 or 6 years ago. um she actually is a scientist. She said that the reason why their relationship was actually falling apart was because all he did was play computer games, and that guy was completely clueless. His wife was even having an affair, because in that case the affair started because it was a lack of attention. So during the counseling process, like when there was a appointed counselor, like our client was so clear into wanting that divorce, and then he was like, no, he wanted to work things out. So he was completely clueless, like completely. So in a case like that, and in a situation, in a scenario like that, a clear break and a cut is essential for like my client to move on and be with the person. And so she eventually ended up marrying that guy. And of course, when divorce, the most, one of the most affected parties in a divorce are the children, like, because as kids. But again, I was talking to another client the other day. Sometimes it's better to divorce and go separate ways than forcing to be in a relationship for the sake of the children, and the children seeing their parents fighting and being unhappy all the time. So it's always a thin line. And this is one of those things, again, like I said, it's something you just can't decide, to answer your question. Julia, I can also be very obsessive, very Virgo and ADHD as well. I just have to know everything about every angle of a subject. Ended my karmic marriage, and I still have to consciously try to let him be. Exactly, guys. Trying to let them be is very important, because sometimes people are just born that way. You can't, there's no way that they would change, unless they want to change themselves. I'm told I have a very strong connection coming soon, but I'm trying so hard not to let my next obsession. Yes, Julia, it's all, one step at a time. You'll get there. Megan, I have been feeling an interfering energy the past day or so, and my guides actually been flagging me about it. I had to ask about a karmic situation on his hand, but I feel like I'm being pushed to connect to his higher self about it. Yeah, Megan, do connect to his higher self about it. And the messages he has for you, his higher self says that he's taking care of it and you do not have to worry. So, really, everything will be all right. And even if anything like that to happen, he will handle it. Jack, hello, good to see you. Amy, I just got an experience to work with the foundation that someone invited me to be part of. I'm excited because I know this is going to help me just as it will help the foundation. Oh, you should totally do it. Sounds really exciting. All the best. Laura, I've always loved talking to the older generation. Yes, the older generation, such an inspiration. Working in a nursing care home for a while. Wow, that is such a beautiful place to work and inspire. Then early education, as I feel children and older people can teach us so much, guys, really. So it's so wonderful actually to be part of that. That's great. I'm getting a nudge. Henry, absolutely love your healings too. Oh, thanks, Henry. I absolutely love healing, doing healings for you guys too. It's such a beautiful and transforming experience. And thank you, Henry. Check, what is your best advice for shadow? Actually, I have a promo on shadow work, which you guys want to check out. It's on my album. Basically, shadow work is actually dealing with your shadow self, and there's a lot of past life and even ancestral, and a lot of, because your shadow self can be very, very, very much. A lot of people bury their shadow selves and don't want to do work. So my best advice will be to take one step at a time, Jack, and work on it, like one step at a time, like a bit by bit. And that's how you actually do shadow work, like clearing one step at a time. Paige, as a divorcee, until you do, it's okay not to do it. If your spouse is pushing it while you're unsure, that can be so incredibly painful. That takes work to heal. Obi, I hate asking about third parties, but it's coming from a higher source that I'm being red flag. And I don't think it's like he's romantically involved or something dumb like that. More like someone actively trying to intervene. I'm pretty sure. Yes, and that's why the message I'm getting for you, Megan, is that he's taking care of it and you don't have to worry. You know, she's not going to do anything. She can't. In fact, your connection is very strong at the moment, energetically. So do not allow this interference to strike track you. Before I fall asleep, do you have any energy updates about Hugo? Always, when I do live channelings for Andrea and Hugo, you both have such beautiful energies. As usual, Hugo is still working through those embarrassing moments that happen. He also feels a lot of guilt and he feels like he has to repair. So I feel a grand entry coming for you guys. Hugo is going to come back in the most grand, least unexpected fashions back to you, Henry. So be prepared to be surprised because Hugo is coming back with pails and pails of love and care and kindness and surprises and probably a bag of physical gifts too. Who knows? So all good, Henry. Dream about him tonight, and you know what I'm talking about. I know it's 4 a.m. in Holland, isn't it? And I'm trying to go in a. Let's see. Let's work out a timing. But thanks for staying up. I really, really appreciate that. Oh, Vaish, please channel for me and my DM Rudy. Oh, Jack, I think I answered your question about shadow work. I also have a shadow work healing. You can check that out in my album. And like I said, one step at a time. So you guys have so you have to go right into what it is that is hindering your life and then working on those shadows, you know. So it could be a certain characteristic that is always making you not live out your best life. For example, procrastination. So when you start healing that aspect of your shadow, you realize that you're actually shifting, and the choices that you make transform as well. Please channel for me. Yes, Linda, a lot is going on energetically, and your DM Rudy wants you to know that there's so much love in the air, and he's dreaming a lot about you lately, and he loves you a lot, and he's got all these endearing love notes that he says that he keeps sending from his 5D self to you, and he wants you to actually acknowledge it, and he sees a lot of your 5D self. So there's a lot that's happening on an energy level. So Linda, amazing, really. Like things are headed towards the right direction. Guys, I think today is almost 90 minutes. I'm going to go on for another 10 more minutes. I'm trying to answer all your questions and then I'll see you all next week, guys. Mindy, I feel there's a bigger reason as to why I found out that my karmic ex got the new wife pregnant. Anything in regards to that? I've definitely had a few moments these past few days since finding out. Oh, your question. Mindy, I think you may want to pose that question again because I just the thing. Hi, Bella. Bella, so happy to see you. All good, all headed towards the right direction, Bella. Everything is on the right track, and you're already feeling it. The energies of July are extremely, extremely transforming. A lot of DMs are standing up, and that's why you see a lot of cycles are closing up with not only karmic partners but karmic family members, and everything is so. This is a good time for completion as well. So Mindy, do not do not worry about that third party situation so much. So Joe just wants you to know that everything will be all right and he's taking care of things. Amy, what are his feelings about us right now? He feels so much in love and he feels a lot of stability and security. So things are going well, Amy. Obi, I do have a question for a channeled answer. If it's okay with you, is my suspicion right? Has Jack truly been aware the entire time of who I am? Has he literally been following me, or does he know we will come from a dimension where hunting Alice actually occurred? Well, like I said, don't focus too much on Jack. I mean, again, he's only aware from a very hap perspective, like OA. So he doesn't know the full picture. So you don't have to worry. But he knows that you are powerful, and he knows that he can't even infiltrate to your mind. So everything is all right. And he has no power over you. The more you're transforming, the more you're transitioning, he's actually losing it. In fact, he can't connect with you anymore. And this is occurring in all other dimensions as well. Megan, typical Capricorn DM. Don't worry, you're pretty hate. I'm taking care of. Exactly. Ah. Lorinda, was John trying to talk to me last night about us starting a project together, wanting to talk about things with us? Yes, from an energetic level, yes. Oh, you're welcome, Jack. Her friends do some embarrass. Oh, thanks, my dear, for the message. Appreciate it always. Danny is still healing, Laura. He's still working out shadow and fears. Everything will be all right, and things will. Oh dear, all the best to you. A court can be quite stressful, but don't worry, justice will prevail. And always remember that sometimes when things actually go to court, it's actually for a cycle completion, which is good in a way. Could you please check the future energy for my Asunta? I am curious to know if you will come back into union. Jack, it's going to take a while, but I do see union in probably a couple of months' time. But you guys have to, detach and work on yourselves. Megan, that's so foolish. You won't. Oh, you're welcome, Linda. Ro, my DM and I had a very lovely and sexy meet up today where the love was seen by both of us through each other's eyes. What I thought as he's back home with Carming. He's still thinking about you, Ro. Don't worry at all. Hi, Karen. So good to see you. Amy, I'd love any channeling if you're open from WFBF or just in general. General, your angels want you to know that you're doing really well, and keep taking care of yourself, keep practicing mindfulness, and things will flow. That's what your angels want you to know, Amy. Yes, the new moon energies have been really strong, guys. So, end of June has been so extreme. You guys might have felt really tired, and some are still feeling the effects of post new moon. So, stay hydrated, take plenty of rest, and do your thing, live your best life, keep spending time with your loved ones, do things that are empowering to the soul. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up now. Another 5 more minutes, and then I'll tune in with you all next week. Um, and like I say, if you guys want a private healing or a reading, please feel free to contact me. In fact, now I'm doing my readings over Zoom as well, so that might be faster. So if you guys want to opt for a live channel reading, DM me as well. Samantha, so when we have good dreams of our TF, do you think their higher self? Yes, exactly. When you actually have one of those dreams, which I did talk about last week as well, it's actually as real. You're actually living it out in the astral. I had a dream 2 nights ago where B told me he was going to tell her that he wanted a baby with me. Oh, that is so beautiful. And then last night his higher self sent me a flash image of a text from him. Oh, I'm so happy for you, Samantha, because that's going to be a reality soon. Obi, it's been so blunt lately. It's been disturbing. Oh, don't worry. Everything will be blessings. Thank you, Peach. Blessings to you too. Thank you so much, Lorinda. Looking forward to delivering your reading soon. Mindy, the question I had is basically what is the bigger reason why I found out that my ex married someone who looks like me in April and got a this is one of those things when they can't get over you, they tend to repeat. They search for someone they want to be with, and you probably noticed it. And getting her pregnant is because he wants to establish foundation as soon as he can. Oh, you're welcome, Jack. Shay, after 6 months of no contact, Frank added me on social media. What is his current energy? Definitely he wants to reconnect with you back again. So that is a good thing. So you guys are headed in the right direction in terms of that. Laura, thank you. Beautiful. I do believe it's all happening for a reason. We've both become more aware of our shadows and heal. That's why, guys, healing is such an integral part of any spiritual journey as well. And in Twin Flame Journey, it's more essential than ever because upon meeting your twin or having sight of your twin actually pushes you into the healing path. Oh, thanks, Samantha. It means a lot. Your comments and please, guys, if you have really enjoyed this live, please leave a review. It'll mean a lot. And the more you share, the more I'll be able to know at what directions or what. If you guys have any topic suggestions, you can post it as a comment on my file as well, which I'm posting. Thank you so much for your kind words and love. Really appreciate. I really enjoy doing this live, and I'm so happy you guys enjoy being here too. Oh, you're welcome, Megan. It's my pleasure, and thank you. And Karen, I feel like Union is coming like really soon. It's driving me crazy because it is for the collective. And Megan, thank you for putting my mind at ease, Vash. Love these lives, and they keep me right, they keep me on the right track. Oh, it means a lot. Thank you. All right, guys, you guys have a splendid weekend. I will see you all next week. If there's anything, feel free to contact me and take care. Love you all. Sending you heaps of love. Enjoy July because July is a beautiful month. A lot of surprises ahead for the collective. I will be trying to do my collective channeling daily as well through my page, Twin Flames Reunited, which I share on this group as well. And I've introduced a lot of new readings and healings, which you guys want to check out as well. Have a great week. Love you all and see you all soon. Take care and bye bye.